22:45, Tuesday, 14th of May, 2011. Interview with victim, Maya Smith, age 22. Are you feeling okay, Miss Smith? Would you like some water?
I'm fine, thanks.
I'm going to ask you some questions, and I need you to answer them truthfully, even if the answers seem unbelievable. Do you understand?
Yes.
You made a phone call to the police at 3:45 a.m. on the 12th of January this year. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can you please explain to me why you made this call?
I needed help.
Why did you need help, Miss Smith?
There was something in my house.
Something? Could you expand on that?
I don't know what it was. It was something old. I was so scared.
Can you describe this old thing?
I couldn't see it properly. There were sounds like someone crying. It was so dark.
I'm going to play you a recording of the call that you made on that night.
Help me, please. Oh, God. There's something in my house. Oh, God. Help me. I need help. It's too dark. I can't see where it went. Shit. I don't know where it went. Help me. Help me. Oh, Jesus. It's going. It's going to...
Do you remember making this phone call?
Yeah.
And what was in your house, Miss Smith?
It was... Someone followed me home.
Followed you? From where?
Work.
Can you tell me what it was? Did you see something?
It was... It's hard to explain.
Please, try.
I got to work at the usual time, about 9 p.m. I clean at an office building in the city. There's never anyone around when I get there, so I usually have a coffee before I start to help me stay awake. There wasn't anything special about that night, really. The only thing that seemed slightly odd was that the lights in the meeting room were still on, but I guess that they just ran late and left them on accidentally.
And there was no one else in the building at that time?
No.
How do you know? Couldn't someone have been in another area of the building?
No, when you enter the building, you have to use a card, and there's a monitor on various walls that tell you how many people have clocked in. I was the only person there.
So what happened that night?
I'd been cleaning for almost an hour and was about to start on the last room, the meeting room, when the phone rang. It had happened a couple of times before and I'd been told to ignore it. The answering machine would get it. It rang a couple of times and then stopped. About 5 minutes later it rang again. It seemed a bit strange for someone to be ringing so late at night, so I turned off the vacuum cleaner and listened to the answering machine message. It wasn't normal.
What do you mean?
I thought it was someone messing around at first, but it just sounded so odd. When I lifted the receiver and actually put my ear to it, I could hear someone screaming in the background. It was such a piercing sound. I had to put the phone down. I was so freaked out. I continued cleaning for about 15 minutes and then it rang again. This time in the meeting room where I was cleaning. I listened as they left their message. The same screaming and some heavy breathing. And tried to convince myself that it was just a prank. I finished cleaning the meeting room and started packing up my stuff before heading to the changing room. First thing I noticed was that the lights were already on. The lights in the changing room are motion censored, so they only go on if someone's in the room. I called out to see if anyone was there, but there was no answer. Anyway, I was running late, so I opened my locker and started to take off my cleaning clothes. That's when my mobile started to ring.
Did you answer it?
It said number blocked, so I answered it without thinking.
Who was it?
I heard the same screaming as I had on the office phones. Someone was laughing too. By this time I was totally freaking out. How could they get my mobile number? I told them to leave me alone in not so many words and hung up. Then the lights went out. Not just in the changing room, the whole building. I used my phone to try and light the way to the fuse box in the hallway, but it was locked. There was nothing else to do but go home, so I headed for the lifts and pressed the button. They were out too.
So it was the entire electric system, not just the lights?
Yeah, everything was off. The light from my phone was making everything look kind of shaky as I headed for the stairs. That's why I thought it was my eyes playing tricks on me when I saw it.
Saw what?
A little girl. She was standing on the flight of stairs just above me. I almost had a heart attack when I saw her, but when I shone my phone towards her, she was gone. I thought she must have been frightened because of the lights, so I called after her. Nothing. I even walked up the stairs to see if I could find her, but there was nothing above me but the roof, and the door to that was locked. I turned back and started descending towards the lobby when I heard the giggling. It was coming from above me, and I could do nothing but keep going downstairs in the darkness to try and get away from it. The battery on my phone was low and the screen kept flickering, making me lose my footing every now and then. I could hear the laughing getting closer to me, so I just kept running, not caring if I tripped. When I finally reached the door to the lobby, I felt something touch my back, like really light fingers tracing down my spine. I screamed and ran into the lobby area. The lights were on, which helped slow my heart a little and calm me down. I almost laughed at myself for being such a wimp.
Almost?
Yeah, I was pretty much calmed down until I saw the wall monitor. There were 2 people in the building. Me and someone else.
What did you do?
I ran home as fast as I could.
You didn't stop to see who the other person was?
No. When the electricity goes off, no one can enter the building. It's a safety precaution. So I don't know how it was possible for someone else to get in.
So when you got home, did you notice anything strange immediately?
No, I was woken up by a sound in the kitchen about 3, and I went downstairs to investigate. Some of my glass bottles had been strewn across the floor and my fridge was wide open.
Is that when you called the police?
No, it was about half an hour later when I heard the laughing coming from my living room. I stayed in my bedroom and rang 999 from there.
Do you remember running home that night?
What? Yeah, I just wanted to get away from that building.
But do you actually remember running from the building 2 miles back to your house?
Yes, I'm sure I do.
Have you read this, Miss Smith? I am handing over the Daily Sun newspaper from the 12th of January 2011.
What is... I don't understand. This is...
You didn't make it home that night, Miss Smith.
I didn't. What? What are you talking about? I'm right here, of course I did.
You were involved in a hit and run that night as you ran home. An unknown car hit you at
What the
44
hell are you
miles an
saying?
hour as you tried to cross the road. You were killed instantly. You died that night, Miss Smith. I'm sorry.
But what happened in that building? The freaky screaming and the laughing.
Those are incidences which employees of that building have been describing ever since that night. They are what you have been doing. What exactly did you think this interview was about, Miss Smith?
I don't know.
I am judging you, Miss Smith.
Judging me? For what?
To see where you would be more suitable.
Where I would be more suitable?
Yes. In heaven or in hell?